All right, we're back. It's Thursday, September 5th. We got Thursday night football later today. I'm not going to take any calls. I'm just going to go through this. And when I'm done going through the games, I'll take some calls. I got to be somewhere in 2 hours, so we got to get through this in 2 hours, and we're not going to do that taking calls. And while I do appreciate the calls, some people are calling in and doing exactly what I do. I mean, I don't really need you guys to do that. I'm teaching you guys how to decode it. If you observe something that I don't see, you can call in and share that. But at the end of this, if we get through it before 11, I'll open it up for calls. So that said, let's get into it. We'll start off with a little bit of review real quick. Yesterday's games were mostly what we expected. The Mets got it done against the Nationals. Remember that 107 pattern. The Mets pitcher became 10-7 versus the Nationals. Two Mets pitchers did it in the series. Washington Nationals 107. The Yankees had a chance to stay on 52 wins against the Texas Rangers on the 52 date. Like I said, this game reminded me of the Oakland series where that didn't happen. Yankees are a tough team to beat in a series. Phillies went down to the Reds. The Reds pitcher did have a riddle to win. That was the one threat. The Phillies had a chance to become 5-1 against Cincinnati this year. Cincinnati's 51. They're not in the same division. Those division head-to-head records, or those head-to-head records are more consistent when they're in the same division. Phillies are NL East, Reds are NL Central. The Pirates did beat the Marlins. Again, the Pirates pitcher had a chance to become 8-6. Thought that was the signal. Seems like all year when that 8-6 opportunities come up against the Marlins, it's come through. So Pirates took it there. Indians looked good to beat the White Sox. Red Sox had the better riddle to beat the Twins. Remember today, the Twins pitcher on a 53-date numerology, that's Martin Perez, could get his 53rd career win. Boston Red Sox equals 53. Cardinals sweeping the Giants is now off the table. The Giants ended up winning it yesterday. It was a little bit tight yesterday. Cardinals starting pitcher had a good narrative, but Giants took it yesterday. Royals looked like the team to beat the Tigers yesterday. We talked about the Royals just losing one in the series. They can lose that one game today. It's the last game of the series. If they lose today, they'll get the 44th home loss. Detroit's 44, so we'll look at that. I know I just said I'm not taking calls, man. I'm sorry. Just if I take your call, everybody's going to be calling in. All right. Diamondbacks and Padres. Thought the Padres had the better narrative here. Diamondbacks swept the Padres. A's looked like the team to beat the Angels. They got it done. Dodgers looked like the team to beat the Rockies. They won 3-7. Los Angeles 37. Also 7-3. Colorado Rockies 73. Los Angeles Dodgers 73. Again, if you guys got here late, I'm not taking any calls today. I'm just going through the games because I got to be done at 11. I have to take a quick break then. I have to be somewhere. And I'll come back and fire one up for talking football as soon as I get back. I won't be gone for long. But I want to get through these baseball games as quickly as possible. So, the Phillies at the Reds. Are there any date numerology connections for this game? The Reds could stay on 33 losses on the lesser date numerology of 33. Sonny Gray. You know what? I'm just going to skip this Phillies Reds game. I already know I don't like it because Sonny Gray has the same riddle as the pitcher yesterday that won, and so there's that narrative. There's the pitcher narrative for the Reds, and the Phillies, their narrative is keeping the Reds on 65 wins. So, yeah, it's the same scenario as yesterday. I didn't like that scenario yesterday. It went the wrong way on me, so I'm just going to skip that one. White Sox and Indians. So, let's see here. Cleveland Indians versus the White Sox. All right, let's see what it is for this year. Okay, Cleveland is 7-8 versus the White Sox this year, which is interesting. They have a losing record to them. 1, 3, 4, 5. They're 5-4 at home. Chicago could become 4-6 in Cleveland. All right. Chicago is 4-5 in Cleveland this year. Chicago's 46. Chicago, I guess I'll write this way. Indians are 7-8 versus White Sox. All right, hold on. There we go. Actually, I should do this real quick too. Just plug in all of our date numerology so we don't skip any. All right, Cardinals. Today's date numerology, 2653. The lesser method, 33. So Cardinals, they can stay on 26 losses today versus the Giants. Athletics can stay on 26 losses as well. They're playing the Angels. And Seattle has an upset narrative with the date numerology, but seems that happens a lot with Seattle versus the Astros, and they don't come through. And let's see, Washington can stay on 26 losses versus the NL East. They're at the Braves. And Cubs can stay on 26 losses in the NL Central. They are at the Brewers. And let's see, what else do we got? Twins can stay on 53 losses. Again, Boston Red Sox, 53. Their pitcher has a nice riddle to pick up that win today. So that would be very fitting. And the lesser date numerology, the Reds could stay on 33 losses versus the Phillies. We talked about that. The Rays could pick up their 33rd loss. That would be an upset. They're at home versus Toronto. Blue Jays at the Rays. And Toronto actually has two things going. The Rays could pick up their 33rd loss, and Toronto could stay on 33 losses versus the AL East. So we'll look more at that with the pitchers, the head-to-head, see if there's something greater there. And Oakland could pick up its 33rd loss versus the AL West. So, okay. Coming back to this White Sox-Indians game, and Cleveland is down against the White Sox, but at home, they are 5-4, so let's see. Chicago White Sox is 88. If the Indians win today, they'll even it up at 8-8. That would make some sense. And then that 4-6 thing makes sense too. All right, so Chicago White Sox, 88. So just on the surface, looking through that division record, which is usually pretty consistent in divisions, if Chicago loses today, they'll be 4-6 at Cleveland this year. They lose 4-6. Chicago's 46. The Indians, with a win, would be 8-8 versus the White Sox for the season. Chicago White Sox 88, so that makes some sense. And let's see. Reynaldo Lopez stats. Let's check out what the pitcher records show us. Reynaldo Lopez 23-28 with the White Sox 18-25. He could get his 26th loss with the White Sox on a 26 date numerology. Lopez is 8. It was 18-25, right? All right. 18-25 with White Sox. So you got the 26 date numerology. The narrative for him to get his 19th win is Cleveland Indians is 67, the 19th prime. But I prefer that division head-to-head record. And we can just see what he's done against Cleveland all time. Cleveland. He's 1-3 versus the Indians with a 5.4 ERA. Okay. away. He's 11 and 17 away. All right. Plesac. Let's see what's up with Plesac. Plesac is 7 and 5. Cleveland Indians does have that 76 connection. Don't think White Sox have an 85 connection. If he won his next two, though, he could get to 9 and 5. Cleveland Indians is 95. All right. Let's see what he's done here against the White Sox. He's 5 and 1 at home. He could improve to 6 and 1. Ohio's 61. Plesac is 5 and 1 at home. Ohio's 61. And White Sox. He's 0 and 1 versus the Sox with a 1.29 ERA. All right. Okay. I do like the division record for the Indians. Well, I realize there's one other thing I should have said here. Chicago White Sox was 79 as well. I was getting blindsided by the 88, but yeah, it is 79 as well. And it's just them becoming 4 and 6 at Cleveland. That number just plays so much with Chicago. That's what my eyes are lasering in on. So all right. I guess I can see who these two teams play next too. Plesac will face 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plesac will face the Angels next. If he improved to 8 and 5, Plesac, Los Angeles Angels is 85. Los Angeles Angels equals 85. Who Plesac will pitch against next could be 8 and 5. Okay, and the White Sox. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lopez is going to face Kansas City next. And Kansas City's also 67, the 19th prime. So, have a chance there. Next opponent. But yeah, I like them being 4 and 6. Just big Chicago number comes up all the time. And perhaps a White Sox loss could fare well for the Bears later today. And it's the Bears' 199th game versus the Packers today, 46th prime. All right, Tigers at Royals. Royals could pick up 44th home loss today. Detroit equals 44. Been talking about that since the series began. So far we're 2-0 in this series. Try to keep it perfect. Nope, that's not what I want. Or I can probably do this actually. For the gentleman calling in right now, again, I feel really bad not taking people's calls, but I know if I take a call, it's going to open up the floodgates. I'm not going to take any calls until the end after I get through this because I have to be somewhere at 11, so I want to make sure I get through all the games. I know if I start taking calls, there's no way we'll make it there. So apologies for not picking up the phone. I'm going to be back after this quick live stream this morning to do the football up until game time. So one-time deal today. Okay, so Kansas City right now is 9 and 9 versus the Tigers and 6 and 2 at home. And no, Royals is 36 from the Tigers from the Tigers' perspective. If they won today, they could be 3-6. All right, let me get these Matthew Boyd stats. Matthew Boyd, 29-45. So he get his 30th win. All right, let me see. Boyd is 29-45. KC is 113, 30th prime. And Boyd versus the Royals. He's 4-9 versus the Royals. He could become 5-9 today. Kansas City Royals is 59 in the most pure cipher. Boyd is 4-9 versus Royals. Kansas City Royals equals 59. So that would make some sense. And I know Sparkman already can fall to 3-14 for his career. So Sparkman is 3-10 for season. KC is 11-3. Sparkman is 3-13 for career. Can fall to 3-14. Pi 3.14. Again, Pi rituals, when they're there, they usually come through. Just like yesterday we saw with the Red Sox pitcher. If his team got the win, they'd be 22-7 when he's on the mound. 22 divided by 7's pi. That 227, that 314, when you see those things line up, it usually goes that way. So I'd say the Tigers got a pretty solid shot today. And am I missing? Is there a 90 connection with the Tigers as well? Let me check that real quick. No, it's 91. Okay. But that 44th loss would be so fitting from Detroit. And I suppose I can check one more thing. Royals, they got the Marlins at the Marlins. It's not going to matter. All right. But yeah, Tigers can give the Royals that 44th loss. Both pitchers' riddles could make sense if the Tigers won as well. All right, Giants at Cardinals. So, Cardinals no longer have the chance to sweep. They do have the 26 date numerology on their side today. They could stay on 26 losses. And have to look at the pitchers here. Hold on, let me pull up the head-to-head again. Why does it start doing this? All right, here we go. Cardinals became 3-3 versus Giants yesterday. That was at home. All right, so Cardinals are 3-3 versus Giants at home right now. All right, hold on. Make sure I got this all right. St. Louis Cardinals, San Francisco Giants. Pull this up real quick. Cardinals schedule. We got the Pirates next. All right. Yeah, it is 3-3. It is correct. 2-1 at home. Cardinals are 3-3 versus Giants in 2019. 2-1 at home. Okay. St. Louis is 43. So it's going to be another 43 riddle. Giants is 34. Okay. Logan Webb. He's 1-0 Want to know? Not a lot to go off of. Let's look at Hudson. Hudson is 18-7. Hudson is 14-6 for season. That 147 is a significant baseball number. He's 9-2 at home for his career. He's 9-2 at home. And let's see. Face the Giants. He's 1-0 versus the Giants with a 3.52 ERA. We're gonna have to see who he faces next. One, two, three, four, five. The Rockies. It's hard to say. Now that the sweep's off the table, it's a little bit harder to see where this could go, because it could make sense for either team to be 3-4 or 4-3 against one another. The Cardinals can stay on the 26 losses. Cardinals play the Pirates at the Pirates tomorrow. PNC Park, where they're playing, is 79. Let's see. Yeah, it's tougher now that the sweep's there. The date numerology is slightly on the Cardinals' side. Cardinals could go into PNC Park with 79 wins. Who do the Giants play next? Giants got the Dodgers next. If the Giants lost, they'd go into the Dodgers series on 73 losses. And Los Angeles Dodgers is 73, just like how they won 7-3 yesterday. They'd also stay on 37 away wins. Was that at the Dodgers? Yep, they'd stay on 37 away wins too. Giants would stay on 37 away wins as well with a loss. Los Angeles 37. So that could make perfect sense for them to go in with that record. So I'd have to favor the Cardinals with that. All right, the Angels and the Athletics. We have two date numerology things here that kind of contradict each other. The Athletics can stay on 26 losses, or Oakland can pick up its 33rd win versus the AL West. And I'll note that Anaheim equals 33. They're not the Anaheim Angels anymore, but they still play there. So Luke Bard could improve to 2-2 with a win. Oakland's 22. Angels is 22. So just on the surface, I see that. Brett Anderson could get his 12th win of the season. Could improve to 12-9 with a win. Los Angeles equals 37, the 12th prime. And let me see here. Under my notes yesterday. So Oakland improved to 11-5 yesterday. They could get their 12th win. They improved to, yeah, that's what we were talking about. If Oakland won the next two, Los Angeles would fall to 3-7 at the Athletics. For the person calling in right now, again, I'm sorry, I'm not taking any calls unless I finish everything before 11, and then I will open it up for people's calls. It's just I have to be somewhere at 11 today. wasn't anticipating on that. It's just going to be a quick trip, and then I'm going to come back and fire up a live stream, and we're going to talk football up until the game kicks off. So I just want to get through all the baseball stuff, so that's why I'm not taking calls this morning. Apologies. All right, so hold on. Oakland is 11-5 versus Angels in 2019, 6-3 at home. And I guess let's make the point. Los Angeles 37, 12th prime. But if Los Angeles loses today, they will be 3-7 at Oakland. Again, Los Angeles 37. So again, those division head-to-head records pretty consistent. Let's look a little bit more at Luke Bard and Brett Anderson, just in case there's something else there. Luke Bard, he's 1-2. He could also fall to 1-3, huh? LA's 13. LA's 13. Oakland is 41, the 13th prime. So you can make sense of him with a win or a loss. Brett Anderson makes most sense with a W. And this guy doesn't have a lot of stuff, so let's move on to Brett Anderson and see what his splits reveal. Ah, look at that. Anderson get his 58th win. What about the Angels in 58? Happens all the time. Brett Anderson is 57-61 for his career. Angels equals 58. And I'll just make one devil's advocate note, but I'm liking the A's here. Brett Anderson is 43-45 in AL. LA Angels is 46. But that 58 plays harder. His 12th win of the season makes sense against Los Angeles. The head-to-head record makes sense. Let me 4-3 versus Los Angeles, which means he can become 5-3. Another big Los Angeles number. Okay. What's up, man? I'm doing the live stream right now. I gotta call you back.
Okay. All right.
All right, later, man. Sorry, he's not part of the live stream. He's just somebody who needs something else. Okay. Okay, so I think the A's look pretty good there. Marlins at Pirates. What's the head-to-head here again? Let's get our head-to-head information. This game could go either way, because either way, the Marlins record could make sense with a win or a loss. So we're gonna have to find something with the pitcher. All right. Pirates are 107-92 versus Marlins all time. So next wins that 108, that major league number. Pirates are 64-37 at home. And for this year, let's see, for this year, Pittsburgh's 3-2. All right. 3-2 versus Marlins in 2019. 1-1 at home. Okay. So this Hernandez, he could be 4-5 or 3-6. Those are both Miami numbers. Hernandez is 3-5 for season. Miami equals 45-36. Look more at his stats here. He's 5-12 for his career. 5-12. Okay. And let's see. Pirates. He's 0-0 versus the Pirates. It wasn't a start, not a lot to go off of. And Egrazol. Egrazol's 4-3. Probably hasn't faced the Marlins yet. Or he has. 0-0 versus the Marlins. One start, 4.5 ERA. The problem with this game is the Marlins could pick up the 47th away loss. Pirates is 47, or they could get the 50th home win. Pittsburgh's 50. That Pittsburgh is 50 in the most pure cipher, but both numbers play with the teams. Marlins can pick up 50th win or 47th away loss. Pittsburgh's 50 in the most pure cipher. Pirates is 47 in the reverse reduction cipher. I do prefer that pure cipher, but here, let's see who these guys face next. Maybe the next start can tell us what we need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to face the Giants. All I could think is if he was 5-5 against the Giants, just the Giants has that 25 connection, square root of 5. Or wait, no, hold on. Egrazol's 4-3. He's gonna face the Giants next. So, yeah, that's not gonna help. They play the Cardinals tomorrow. What could make sense about that? Is that game away? No, at home versus the Cardinals tomorrow. St. Louis Cardinals is 61, is that right? St. Louis Cardinals is 61 in the most pure cipher if the Pirates lost. Pirates play Cardinals tomorrow. St. Louis Cardinals equals 61. Could stay on 61 wins to face them with a loss today. Let's see about the Marlins. Marlins got the Royals tomorrow. They host the Royals tomorrow. And let me see. Royals is 90. If they lost today, they'd begin that Royals series on 90 losses. So if they lost, they'd go into the series on the right amount of losses, or they could pick up their 90th loss against the Royals. So yeah, this game's a tricky one, no doubt about it. All right, Rangers and Orioles. Let's see. Is there any standout numbers here? Orioles are on their signature 93 losses. This must be a 4-game series. Again, if you got here late, we're doing things a little bit different today. I found out I have to be somewhere at 11 a.m. today. It's not going to be long, so I'm not taking calls this morning. We're going through the games as quickly as possible, but not too quickly so that we miss things. This game that's about to start right now, I said I did not like it this morning. The Reds can stay on 65 wins. Philadelphia 65, but Sonny Gray has the riddle to win, just like yesterday's Reds pitcher did. And so I don't even want to go up against that scenario again. Reds could stay on 33 losses on the lesser date numerology at 33 as well. So I'll also write Reds can stay on 65 wins. Philadelphia 65, big number with that team all the time. Gray could pick up 70th win. Cincinnati Reds equals 70. Philadelphia, let's just spell it wrong. Philadelphia can type. Philadelphia Phillies equals 349, the 70th prime. So we ran into that scenario yesterday. The guy on the mound had this exact same thing. And there's nothing clear with Vargas. So, not big on that one. Again, just to review games we've already covered. If Chicago loses today, they'll be 4-6 at Cleveland. Chicago 46, number that we see all the time with that team. Indians are 7-8 versus the White Sox this year. With a loss, they'd be 7-9. With a win, they'd be 8-8. Both those numbers connect to Chicago White Sox. So you can make an argument either way with the overall record. Lopez on the mound could get his 26th career loss on the 26th-date numerology. His next career win is 19. Cleveland Indians is 67, the 19th prime, but he'll face Kansas City next. Kansas City is also 67, the 19th prime. Lopez has struggled against the Indians. Plesac, you can make an argument for the win or loss, but he does face the Los Angeles Angels next. Los Angeles Angels 85, and if he wins today, he'll be 8-5 going into that game. So I think that's the more likely scenario. I guess one more thing I can say is Cleveland can pick up 44th home win. Chicago does have that 45 connection. It's 35-44. So, all right, Tigers and Royals. Tigers can give the Royals that 44th loss. We've been talking about that all series. We said this was the game that looked most likely for it at the beginning of the series. Detroit's 44. Matthew Boyd today can improve to 5-9 versus the Royals all time. Kansas City Royals 59. And Sparkman can fall to 3-14 like pie. The Giants and the Cardinals. If the Giants lost, they would go into the Dodgers series with 73 losses and stay on 37 away wins. Los Angeles Dodgers 73. Los Angeles 37. Cardinals would stay at 26 home losses on the 26th day. Athletics can make the Angels 3-7 in Oakland. Again, Los Angeles 37. And Brett Anderson has a lot of things lining up here in his favor today versus the Angels. He can improve to 5-3 versus the Angels. Los Angeles 53. He can get his 58th career win. Angels 58. He can get his 12th win of the season. Los Angeles 37, the 12th prime. So that's looking good. Marlins and Pirates is looking a little bit tight, and that gets us to where we are right now. Rangers and Orioles. So, the Rangers' next loss is 74. Texas Rangers is 74. Maryland's 47. Nothing's really screaming out to me about the numbers on the surface or where this series could go. So, let's look up the head-to-head for these teams. Baltimore Orioles, Texas Rangers. Baltimore historically has played their Rangers well at home. 203 to 131. That's a big margin. Baltimore is 203 and 131 versus Rangers at home. They have a losing record. Or hold on. They've just played well against this team. Baltimore is 396 and 272 versus Rangers all time. And let's see what's going on this season. Rangers are back at home against the Rays after this. Baltimore's 1-2 versus the Rangers this year. They fell to 1-3. All those games were at Texas. All right. First game in Baltimore. And let's see this Mallard guy. Kobe Alert is 4-1. Now, if he lost, he'd be 4-2. Orioles is 42. Alert is 4-1 for his career. Orioles equal. Oh, wow, I cannot type. Orioles equals 42. All right, so that stands out. And let's see. Away, he's 2-1. Yeah, let's see. Has he faced the Orioles yet? Nope. So John Means started out really well this season and then just struggled a little bit lately. John Means, he could improve to 11-9. That is a Saturn number. Texas is 66, the 11th triangular number. Saturn equals 119. Orioles equals 119. We know how those Saturn numbers seem to hit with the Orioles. Let me see something with the managers here. So 94 losses. I'll just make a note about that. Hyde is 46 and 94 for a career as O's manager. I guess. I'm just seeing he could get his 95th loss. Today's September 5th. Baltimore equals 95, September 5th, or 9/5. Season on Woodland. Woodward. 68, 73. Alright, hold on. Woodland is 7-4 at home, or Means is 7-4 at home. I think we could go with that. Maybe he'll end up being 9-5 at home. And does he face the Rangers yet? He's 0-0 versus the Rangers with a 1.5 ERA, so he pitched well against them. Well, the thing that jumped out to me the most about this game is that Allard could fall to 4-2 versus the Orioles. John Means could get those Saturn numbers because there wasn't a lot to go off. I just want to check out the young manager Hyde. Getting the 95th loss on September 5th, I mean, that's not any type of lock, but it is something there. I noticed the over-under's at 9.5. Yeah, that one's a little dangerous. If it was Saturday, I'd say, all right, let's take the Orioles, but it's Thursday. But I got to admit, the strongest riddle on the board is seemingly that Allard can fall to 4-2 versus the Orioles. He did come in 4-1. Baltimore's 41. And we did see that Baltimore has a very good record at home against the Orioles. So that's another thing to think about. A lot of times those historical precedents play. All right, Quintana versus Chase Anderson. And, all right, Brewers and Cubs. What do we got going on here? Oops, wrong one. Milwaukee Brewers. Chicago Cubs. Brewers are 92-90 at home. Chicago Cubs equals 91 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 91. 92-90 at home. Brewers Cubs. Brewers are 177, 188. There's Cubs all time. Let's see this year. Milwaukee 7-8 versus the Cubs. And at home, 2-1, 4-2. Brewers are 4-2 versus Cubs at home. 2-1, 4-2. Where could that go? Milwaukee's 53, so being 5-3 could make a lot of sense. Being 5-3 could make a whole lot of sense. So that good chance they split today and tomorrow. If they split today, and Chicago's 35 as well. So I like that split narrative a lot. So let's see if we can figure out who's more likely today. Quintana's 82-76. With the Cubs 32-22. We have the lesser date numerology at 33. Milwaukee Brewers is 82 if he stayed on that. Alright. Quintana is 82-76 for career. Milwaukee Brewers is 82. Remember, Seattle's 82. They're originally from Seattle. Quintana is 32-22 for Chicago Cubs. 33 date numerology. And let's see what he's done against the... He's 40-40 away. That's not going to help us. That 41 plays hard with Milwaukee, but it can go either way. 41 the 13th, prime M the 13th letter. Brewers. He's 8-4 versus the Brewers. Quintana is 8-4 versus Brewers. And see what he's done at the park. He's 4-2. Probably end up being 5-3 there. Quintana is 4-2 at Milwaukee. Yeah, it's tricky. That is a tricky one. All right, let's see Chase Anderson. Maybe he's got the riddle. Chase Anderson's 51-40. And he's 36-27 with Milwaukee. Now we got an overlap number with 37 between Chicago and Milwaukee. Anderson is 36-27 with Milwaukee. Chicago's 37. Milwaukee's 37. All right, so that stands out. Let's see how his record is against the Cubs. He's 31-19 at home. Slightly off the date numerology there. He's 5-5 versus the Cubs. Chicago Cubs is 55. And at Miller Park, he's 22-12 at Miller Park. So again, really like the split here. Safe here. Well, actually, let's look at tomorrow's game too. Let's take a peek at tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow's pitcher will give us the answer. Davies is 8-7. Cole Hamels is 7-5. 7. Gotta look more at the stats here. Hamels is 163 and 119 with the Cubs. He could get his 12th win with the Cubs tomorrow. Milwaukee 37, the 12th prime. Let's see his record versus the Brewers. Eight and 4 versus the Brewers. Well, he can get that 12th win with the Cubs. What about Davies? All right, Davies is 41 and 32. Yeah, shoot. Cubs. Could improve to 7 and 7. Yeah, well, the best thing I saw for tomorrow is just that Hamels could get that 12th win with Chicago. That wasn't real clear. Okay. I'll just make this note. Tomorrow, Hamels could get 12th win with Cubs. Milwaukee 37, 12th prime. So, again, the best thing I see going here is that Chase Anderson could get his 37th win with Milwaukee, because Chicago's 37 and so is Milwaukee. Quintana does have a shot at the 33rd win for the Cubs on the lesser date numerology of 33. I really do like them to split today and tomorrow. That's jumping out in a big way. And I think Milwaukee Brewers has that 98 connection as well. Milwaukee Brewers is 98. So right now, if they split, the Cubs would be 9 and 8 versus the Brewers for the year 2. So yeah, a little bit tight today. I kind of do like that Anderson get his 37th win with Milwaukee, but Quintana's got something too, so it's tough. All right, Twins and Red Sox. The Twins can stay on 53 losses, 53 date numerology. Boston Red Sox equals 53. Martin Perez is going for his 53rd career win today. So Perez is 52, and hold on, let me see how many losses he has. We looked at this yesterday. Martin Perez is 52 and 55, so he could stay on 55 losses as well. Boston, Massachusetts is 55. Boston Red Sox equals 53. Boston, Massachusetts equals 55. And let's see. Just look a little bit more at the stats. 9 and 6 for the season. See who he faces next. Twins schedule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He faces the Nationals next. So if he won or lost, he'd have a chance to become 10 and 7 versus the Nationals. If he wins, he'd probably lose that game to fall to 10 and 7 versus the Nationals. It's not going to help us for today, but that 50, I mean, today's just perfect for that 53rd win. I mean, it couldn't be any better for that. So let me see what he's done against home and away and Red Sox. He's 20 and 32 away. Okay. All right, Perez is 20 and 32 away. We do have the lesser date numerology at 33. I still like that overall record, though. Too perfect. And It's 2-2 versus the Red Sox. Boston equals 22-32, so does Twins. And Eovaldi, let's go back to his stats. Eovaldi's 45 and 53. Date numerology. With Boston, he's 4 and 3. So I guess you can make a little riddle for Eovaldi too. He's 4 and 3 with Boston. He could improve to 5 and 3. 53 date numerology. He's 30 and 18 in the AL. Twins equals 22-31. Boston's 22-31. And he's 20 and 23. Let's see what he's done against the Twins. He's 3 and 3 versus the Twins. And at Fenway, he's 5 and 1 at Fenway. Ooh, he could fall to 5 and 2 versus Minnesota. Eovaldi is 5 and 1 at Fenway. Minnesota equals 52. That would make some good sense. Let me come back and see Martin Perez at Fenway. I didn't check that. He's 1 and 1 at Fenway. It'll make a difference. But yeah, the 53rd career win. I like that career number. 53 date numerology, perfect opponent. The team stays on 53 losses. The Twins tomorrow will play the Indians at home. And I don't think they have a connection to either of those numbers. Twins. They could return to Target Field as well on 53 losses, where they play next. All right. Yeah, I think the riddle's a little bit better for the Reds, or not the Red Sox, excuse me, the Twins today. Eovaldi does have something going. It's not a one-way street, but I like the way the 53 lands for Martin Perez better. Eovaldi could get a no decision and improve to 5 and 3 as a Red Sox pitcher at a later date. Okay, so Blue Jays with the date numerology have a little shot. The Rays could pick up their 33rd loss today on the lesser date numerology at 33, and Toronto could stay on 33 losses versus the AL East. Blue Jays come in on 43 away losses, Tampa Bay Rays 43, and if the Rays win 3 out of 4, they'll get to 85 wins. That's probably very likely. Toronto Blue Jays is 85. If Rays win 3 out of 4, they will have 85 wins. Toronto Blue Jays equals 85. So that would make me discount this date numerology because, you know, the fact that the Rays look like they'll win 3 out of 4 is tough. But you know what? If the Blue Jays were going to pick up a game, maybe they would win this first one because I see Trent Thornton could improve to 5 and 9. And Toronto Blue Jays is 59 in the most pure cipher. Thornton is 4 and 9 for season. Toronto Blue Jays equals 59. All right, let me see. Trent Thornton away. He's 3 and 3 away. Tampa Bay Rays is 43. So he's pitching better away than he is at home. Look at his home record, 1 and 6. Tampa Bay Rays 43. Or Whoops. He's 0-1 versus the Rays with an 11.12 ERA in 3 starts. That is not good. I'm guessing those games were in Toronto. Well, 2 starts there, 9.72 ERA, but no decision. Thornton is 0-0 in TB. 2 starts, 9.72 ERA. So averaging more than 1 run per inning. That is not encouraging. Pruitt. I'm going to have to look at the head-to-head records for these teams, too, this year. Austin Pruitt. He is 11-8 for his career. He's 2-0 for the season. 2-0. Pruitt is Pruitt is 11-8 for career. Let's see what's done against Toronto. He's 5-5 at home. And Blue Jays. He's 2-0 versus the Blue Jays. 2-0. And he's 5-5 at home. Let's see the head-to-head record here. Tampa Bay Rays, Toronto Blue Jays, 115-76 at home, 206-177. Let's see. Tampa Bay is 8-4 versus Toronto this year. Well, that stands out because, again, Toronto Blue Jays is 85. Tampa Bay is 8-4 versus Blue Jays in 2019. Toronto Blue Jays equals 85. And at home they are 4-2 at home. TB is 4-2 at home versus Blue Jays. Tampa Bay Rays is 43, but it is also 52. It's 43 in the more pure cipher. If Tampa Bay lost today, their record would make a lot of sense. 8-5, Toronto Blue Jays 85, 4-3 at home. Tampa Bay Rays 43 in the most pure cipher. Proving to 5-2 at home is obviously not out of the question. The date numerology does support Toronto today. If they won today, it would support them tomorrow, and I don't think they're going to win more than one in this series. It's making too much sense for the Rays to get that 85th win, and they're playing for something. The Blue Jays are only playing for spoiler. But Trent Thornton today, improving to 5-9, could make some sense, and 4-3 away at the Tampa Bay Rays. Don't forget, Toronto's on the 43rd parallel. Just make that note here. One more thing to put in your memory bank. You saw those 43s play big in the playoffs with Toronto basketball this year. So, Rays definitely have an upset narrative. The Blue Jays definitely have an upset narrative today. I might stick them in a small parlay with some games you like if you're doing your small bet, big reward type of thing. They got a shot for sure. But Rays are playing for the playoffs. All right, Nationals at Brewers. Strasburg. And as soon as I'm done, you guys, I'm going to open up the phone lines for calls. So we're almost to the finish line. Powering through this. Nationals at Braves. Nationals can stay on 26 losses versus NL East on this 26 date numerology. Notice they come in with 37 away wins. Atlanta Braves 37. Just seeing about these other numbers here. Where could this go? The Braves would have to get beat up at home to get to 57 losses. I think this is a 4-game series here. Nationals is 57. 4-game series. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Braves pitcher will face the Phillies next. All right, let's see. Get the stats here for these teams. Atlanta Braves, Washington Nationals. Ooh, the Braves could get their 53rd win. Or hold on. That's the old one. Never mind. That's the old one. My fault. The Braves are 6-6 versus the Nationals this year. Braves is 67. That could go either way, though. Let's write it down. Braves are 6-6 versus Nationals this year in 2019. Braves are at home 0-2, 2-4. Braves are 2-4 at home versus Nationals. So the Nationals have definitely had their number. If the Braves only won 1 of 4, they would be 3-7. I'm gonna make a note about that. If Braves won 1 of 4, they would be 3-7 at home. Atlanta Braves equals 37. They would get to 57 losses as well. Nationals is 57. So there is a riddle there for that to happen in the head-to-head record and the season record. So that's not out of the question. And let's see. Strasburg. Strasburg's 110-57 for his career. Make sure I'm not missing something. All right, let's see what he's done against the Braves. He's 58-28 away. Atlanta, Georgia is 59, but I don't know to count it as that because they play in Cumberland, Georgia now. Cumberland. I'll just write it down anyway. Strasburg is 58-28 away. Atlanta, Georgia equals 59. You know, I guess the 49ers don't play in San Francisco anymore, but they still have the San Francisco riddles all the time, so perhaps the Atlanta, Georgia thing does matter. Just thinking about it that way. Nationals, let's see, Braves. It's going to be his 34th game versus the Braves. 14-11 versus the Braves. 11. I don't see the great clue for that. He could get his 17th win of the season, couldn't he? 59, the 17th prime. Strasburg going for 17th win of the season as well. Who does he face next? National schedule. One, two, three, four, five. He faces Minnesota next. He was on 110 wins, right? That was his stats. Minnesota's 110. Minneapolis, Minnesota's 111. He's 4-1 at SunTrust Park. And at the old field, he's 4-3, so he's 8-4 altogether, down on the 84th meridian. Strasburg is 8-4 in Atlanta. I think Atlanta, Georgia's 85 as well. Yeah, it is. Okay. They got Interstate 85 that goes through there. Strasburg is 4-1. Remember when Interstate 85, that section burned out after the Super Bowl, National Football League 85? They blamed it on a crackhead. They said somebody was smoking crack under there and caught it on fire. Burned down the freeway. Strasburg is 4-1 at SunTrust Park, the new stadium. Okay. Got riddles going both ways with that. And let's see. Strasburg is 110. 57 for career. Faces Minnesota next. Minnesota equals 110. Minneapolis, Minnesota equals 111. And that game was in Minnesota. All right, let's check out Freed and see if there's a better clue there. Freed is 17-9, 15-4 for the season. Today does have the 53 date numerology, doesn't it? The 16th prime. Date numerology, 16th prime. Freed is 17-9 for career. He's 7-4 at home. Again, Atlanta's on the 84th meridian. We see that Strasburg's 8-4 down there all time. Okay. Versus the Nationals. He's 0-1 versus the Nationals. In 2 starts. 5.19 ERA. Well, he does have that riddle to pick up the 16th win on the 53 date numerology. I think this one's a little bit tight. I mean, there is a narrative for the Nationals to win 3 on the road. Did I get their head-to-head record for this year? Yeah. Yeah, if they were going to win 3 out of 4, you think the Nationals would probably start it off with a win today. Doesn't necessarily have to go that way, but let's see what it looks like. Let's see what Keuchel's got going tomorrow. Keuchel's 82-68. He could improve to 7-5 with Atlanta, the reflection of 57. Corbin could get his 12th win tomorrow. Atlanta Braves 37, the 12th prime. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I think that one's pretty tight today. Mariners have a date numerology that could go in their favor. They could get their 26th win in the AL West on the 26th date numerology. Excuse me. Where's this likely to go? If the Astros lost 2 in the series, I imagine this is a 4-game series. Hold on. I didn't think about one last thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't think about Frieden, who he pitches against next. Let me look at one more thing for that game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Phillies. I guess I did look at that. Yeah, still tight. All right, let me get the Mariners and Astros up here. I'm sure the Astros are a huge favorite. Negative 270. So Houston's 82-54 versus the Mariners. Tomorrow we'll have 54 date numerology. The next day we'll have 55 date numerology. That'd be Saturday. Astros are 82-54 versus Mariners. Astros are 38-32 at home versus Mariners. And for the season, well, that means they could get their 33rd loss today. You got the lesser date numerology at 33. Hold on. Houston has absolutely dominated the Mariners. Notice they're 12-1 against them. Remember how the Mariners season began? 12-2. They got to 12. They had the league's best record. The Mariners to start the season 12-2. Kansas City equals 122. That's the team they became 12-2 against. And Seattle's on the 122nd meridian. So that could happen. There could be an upset here. Astros are 12-1 versus Mariners this year. Seattle on 122nd meridian. Mariners began season 12-2. At home, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-0. Ooh, Astros is 70 though. Astros are 6-0 versus Mariners. At home in 2019, Astros equals 70. And one other thing I could say about this is 131, the 32nd prime. Houston equals 32. So if the Astros won today, they'd be 13-1, a bit like 131. But I do remember the 12-2 start for the Mariners. All right, let's see what's up with the pitchers. Mariners are looking like a dollar parlay type of team already today, too. I'd say that because they do have a shot, but let's see here. On the wrong thing. Marco Gonzalez and try this way. Marco Gonzalez. He's 32-23 for his career. He has a chance at 33 too. Gonzalez is 32-23 for his career. 33 date numerology. He's 28-21 with Seattle. That's to go with today. And his splits. The person calling in right now, I am going to begin taking calls in just a moment. As soon as I'm done and review these games, I'm going to open up the phone line and we'll take calls till 11. I have to run at 11. And then I'm going to be back and we're going to do a football live stream up until the game starts today. So bear with me here. Just a few more minutes. Okay. He's 17-15 away. He could get his 16th loss today on the 53 date numerology. And against the Astros, 0-4 versus the Astros. Let's see. What I can say about that is Mariners is 43, the 14th prime. Houston is 41 as well, the reflection. And at Houston, he's 0-2 with a 5.73 ERA. All right, Wade Miley. Let's see what he's got going on. Miley's 84-80 with Houston. He's 13-4. Could get his 14th win. Mariners 43, the 14th prime. Could stay on 43 losses in the AL. Miley is 13-4 with Houston. Mariners get to 14-4. Miley is 41-43 in AL. Again, Mariners 43. And he's 42-36 at home. He could get his 43rd win. Interesting how all those 43s and 14s line up. Miley is 42-36 at home for a career. Mariners 43. And versus the Mariners, he's 3-1. Miley is 3-1 versus Mariners. Houston equals 32 and 41. So he could fall to 3-2. And in Houston, he's 8-3. He is 8-3 in Houston. So who do they face next? One, two, three, four, five. Marco Gonzalez will face the Reds next. And I guess nothing's going to line up with the Reds. Wade Miley. One, two, three, four, five. Astros, Athletics. Athletics. What were his career stats again? 85, 81. Okay. Well, Miley definitely has a narrative to win. He has one little narrative where he could pick up his loss and become 3-2 versus the Mariners. Gonzalez, he has a riddle to win or lose. It's, you know, Astros, the way they've dominated the Mariners this year, they are the more likely team to win. But I'd still throw the Mariners in a dollar type of parlay with some of the stronger picks today, if you like to do that, just because they do have a shot there, and they would be a nice multiplier, that's for sure. All right, so let's review the games, and then I'm going to open up the phone line here. The Phillies at the Reds game, the Reds pitcher has the same scenario as yesterday, and that makes me gun-shy on the Phillies. But like we talked about, if the Phillies win 3 out of the 4, the Reds will be on 65 wins. Philadelphia 65. So the Phillies' narrative to win is the record. The Reds' narrative to win is through their pitcher. He has the same scenario as the pitcher yesterday, and Reds did win yesterday. The White Sox and Indians game, Indians are a big favorite. If Chicago loses, they will be 4-6 at Cleveland this year. Chicago 46, number we see all the time with that city. The Indians are 7-8 versus the White Sox. They do have a losing record. If they lost, they'd be 7-9. If they won, they'd be 8-8. Both of those numbers connect to Chicago White Sox. So through that, the White Sox have an upset narrative. Cleveland can pick up their 44th home win. Chicago equals 44. Lopez on the mound for the White Sox could get his 26th loss on a 26-date numerology. His next win will be 19. Cleveland Indians is 67, the 19th prime, but he does face Kansas City next. He could get the 19th win there as well. Lopez has struggled against the Indians. Plesac, if he wins, he'll be 8-5. He faces the Los Angeles Angels next. They equal 85, so he'd go in with that perfect record. We see pitchers do that all the time. The narrative for Plesac to lose would become 7-6. Cleveland Indians is 76 as well. But if he wins 2 in a row, he'll be 9-5. Cleveland Indians is 95. So I do like the fact that the White Sox can become 4-6 at the Indians with a loss as much as 46 plays with Chicago. The Tigers and the Royals. This would be the day where the Tigers can beat the Royals. We've had the Royals the last 2 days. We thought this third game is the one where the Tigers had their best shot to win. If the Royals lose, they'll get their 44th loss. Detroit's 44. If Boyd won today, he'd improve to 5-9 versus the Royals. Kansas City Royals is 59. And Sparkman, if he loses, he'll be 3-11 for the season. KC is 11-3. He'd also be 3-14 for his career like pie. The Giants and the Cardinals game. The Cardinals are up early. Said the Cardinals have the better narrative today. They can stay on 26 home losses on the 26th date. And if the Giants lost, they would go into the Dodgers series with 73 losses. Los Angeles Dodgers 73. And stay on 37 away wins. That game's at Los Angeles 37. The Angels and the Athletics game. If the Athletics win today, the Angels will be 3-7 at Oakland, Los Angeles 37. And I guess just to play devil's advocate, I do like the Athletics today, but just to play devil's advocate, I got to think about this one right here. LA Angels is 46. I like the 37 a whole lot more. And we saw that Luke Bard, you could make an argument for him to win or lose, but Brett Anderson has a great riddle to win today. He can get his 12th win of the season. Los Angeles 37, the 12th prime. He can get his 58th career win. Angels 58. And he can also become 5-3 versus the Angels. Los Angeles 53. So the one thing that could go against him is he could get his 46th loss in the AL. But the other numbers play a lot more for Los Angeles, so favor the Athletics there. Marlins and Pirates, tricky, could go either way in the wins and losses. If the Pirates didn't win, they would stay on 61 wins to face the Cardinals tomorrow. St. Louis Cardinals 61. However, if the Marlins lost, they'd get their 90th loss. They play the Royals tomorrow. Royals is 90. So I think that game's pretty dangerous. Rangers and Orioles. Orioles have a great history at home against the Rangers. They're even the favorite today. If Allard lost, the Rangers pitcher, he'd be 4-2 for his career. Orioles is 42. He comes in 4-1. Baltimore 41. John Means can get to some Saturn numbers with a win today. Orioles have the Saturn connection. And we did see that Hyde, the manager, he could get his 95th loss today on September 5th, 9-5. Baltimore's 95. So, riddle like that's definitely hit and miss. But through Kobe Allard, him becoming 4-2 against the O's, not out of the question. Cubs and Brewers is very tight today. I think they're going to split today and tomorrow. I might just wait for tomorrow's game. But if you got to put something down, I do like that Chase Anderson could get his 37th win with Milwaukee, because Chicago and Milwaukee are 37, the overlap number. Keep in mind, though, Quintana could get his 33rd win with the Cubs on the lesser date numerology of 33, and that lesser date numerology, it definitely plays with pitcher records. Tomorrow, Hamels is on the mound for the Cubs. He could get his 12th win of the season. Quintana could stay on 12 wins today. Let me make sure I didn't miss something with 129 with the Brewers. No. No. Okay, the Twins and Red Sox game. If the Twins win today, they'll stay on 53 losses. Boston Red Sox is 53. You have a 53 date numerology. They go back to Target Field, which is 53 for their next game. If Perez got his win today, he'd get his 53rd career win on the 53 date numerology against the most perfect opponent in the league. Well, Los Angeles would be another good one, but Boston Red Sox, I'm pretty sure, are the only team with a full Gematria 53. Perez does have a chance at his 33rd away loss, which is a little bit dangerous. Massachusetts is 33. Eovaldi, he's on 53 career losses. He could improve to 5-3 with Boston. He could get his 31st one in the AL. So he has a riddle too, but if he lost today, he'd be 5-2 at Fenway, and Minnesota's 52. So, little tight, but I personally favor the Twins. That 53rd career win with Perez just seems like it's perfectly aligned. The Blue Jays, I'd throw them in my dollar parlay bracket today. Or when I say dollar parlay, I just mean small parlay. Maybe for you it's $1, maybe for you it's $5, $10. I don't know what's small money to you. But the reason why is if Tampa Bay loses, it's 8. They're 8-5 versus the Blue Jays this year. Toronto Blue Jays is 85. If they lost, they'd be 4-3 at home. Tampa Bay Rays is 43. But keep in mind, Tampa Bay Rays with the S is also 52. It plays as well with them. But that 8-5 would go with the Blue Jays. The Rays could pick up their 33rd loss today. 33-date numerology. Toronto could stay on 33 losses versus the AL East. So there is a riddle there. Thornton today could improve to 5-9. Toronto Blue Jays is 59. And so there's an upset narrative for the Blue Jays. That said, the Rays look like they're primed to win 3 out of 4 in this series to get to 85 wins. And imagine if they won the first 3 out of the first 4. So if that upset didn't come through for the Blue Jays, they'd be 85-59. Toronto Blue Jays is 85-59. So they could have a perfect tribute. If they won the first 3. But today a lot does line up for the Blue Jays. So I think they're worth one of those small bets where you could turn $1 into 20 or more dollar type of thing. The Nationals and Braves, I probably wouldn't mess with this game today. You got riddles going both ways. Fried could get his 16th win of the season on the 53-date numerology, 53 the 16th prime. Strasburg has good history down in Atlanta. If he did lose today, he would be 8-5 in Atlanta. Atlanta, Georgia is 85, but he has some things there. If he didn't win today, he'd stay on 110 wins facing Minnesota next. Minnesota's 110. Could get a no decision. So I'll let you go over the notes on that one. And then Mariners at Astros. Mariners, again, I'd throw them in a dollar parlay too, just because they have an upset narrative. They'd be the biggest multiplier of the day. But you look at Wade Miley, and it doesn't look good for the Mariners. So his numbers are all nicely aligned. Now, I got to be somewhere. I got to take off right at 11. The line is open if you guys want to call in. I'm going to be gone for just a little bit. I'm going to come back and fire up another live stream, and we're going to talk football. Cardinals are blasting off on the Giants. Ooh, White Sox did get up on the Indians early. Phillies are up on the Reds. If you do want to call in, same number as always, 509-731-0567. If not, we can wrap it up. I'll post the notes. And I'll be back as quick as possible to talk football. All right, we got a caller here. Maryland?
Hey, Zach. With that Cubs and Brewers game, when you looked at, if you go look at the division records, the Cubs could stay on 26 NL Central buses today.
Cubs could stay on. Hold on, let me see. Cubs could stay on. Say it one more time.
The Cubs could stay on 26 NL Central losses today.
Oh yeah, I think I had that up in the notes, didn't I? Yep, Cubs can stay on.
No, I don't think you did.
Yeah, I did. Cubs can stay on 26 losses versus NL Central, right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was just checking because I know you didn't mention it when you was going through the game.
Yeah, I probably did just skip it on the review, but yeah, it's up there in the notes. So yeah, you are right about that.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man. Caller.
Hello.
Yeah, you're on.
Hey, what time are you doing football later?
I'm gonna start it probably close to noon Pacific, 3 Eastern.
Okay. Because I know you're doing all baseball today. I was going to call you to see it. You just mentioned at the end you're going to do football later. So, 3 Eastern?
3 Eastern, yeah. That should be the time.
You mean 6 Eastern, right?
Noon Pacific is 3 Eastern.
Oh, you just got to go a little bit and come back?
Yeah, I'm just going to take a little break because I have to run somewhere, and then I'm going to come back and we'll just do more football analysis just up until game time.
I know I heard Rambo shouted me out last night in the show.
Yeah, yes he did.
One of the things that happened last night after the match, and I'll let it feed you in a little bit, he left a lot of stuff out that we came up with, but when the match was over with Drusku, she said, "Is this real life?" And he brought up that statue in Italy, Laguna della Pina.
Uh-huh.
It lined up in 3 of the 4 ciphers.
Huh. Crazy.
But we measured, is this real life, is a line out of Queen.
Huh. Oh, sure. Yeah, okay.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right.
And of course, the guy who won the Oscar for it is lined up with it. But also, she's going to be facing the Queen in the final. The Serena's sort of the Queen, and that's, Corona Park, Queens.
Right.
But she said it, is this real life?
Yeah, little tribute.
But now one more thing that was funny, because if you watch these shows, they showed her parents, right, in the stands. And, of course, one of the big numbers for the tennis was 133. Corey Goff, 313, which is 133.
Right.
13's at 3.
Right.
The name of her dog was Coco.
Huh. Crazy.
So in an hour or two or an hour and a half, you're going to do football.
Right. Going to come back and we'll talk football, go over the games. As of this moment, for people who are wondering, I'm really liking the Bears to win as of right now. Again, mostly because of Matt Nagy and Trubisky. Again, for people who don't know, the game's 134 days after Nagy's birthday. He can become 13-4 with a win. The National Football League equals 134.
Yeah, that's a strong riddle.
Yeah, Vesica Pisces is 134, and then the Trubisky 53-16 piece. So,
And then one other thing on football, if you can find it, go look at Robbie Anderson's haircut.
Robbie Anderson haircut, okay.
He's got his haircut like the Statue of Liberty.
Really?
And he's a temple, which is the temple's part of the Statue of Liberty, and then he's more number 11, which is the platform, which is 11.
Right.
It's amazing, and he's of course green and white, and his gematria lines up all over the tournament.
Huh. All right, gonna have to look at that. Very interesting.
So if you find his picture with his Statue of Liberty haircut, I mean, it's crazy stuff that you uncover with this stuff.
Indeed, man.
But you're just gonna do tonight's game, or you're gonna do a bunch of other games?
We'll do more. We'll obviously do more than tonight's game. We're going to be on for all those hours, so we'll talk football. Because I haven't. We're going to just keep doing deeper analysis on each game until it's up to game time. Until we've figured out every last riddle we can. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah, if you see Robbie Anderson's haircut, you get a good laugh out of it.
All right, man. I'll check that out. Appreciate it.
Man.
All right.
Talk to you later.
All right. Take care. All right, you guys. I'm going to keep taking calls until I got to take off. 509-731-0567. And if anybody wants to call in and tell me if they like it this way, maybe this is the way we should do it each day. I go through the games, and then we open up the line for the calls. That might not work for some people, because I know some people are trying to listen and call in their little work breaks. So, we'll see. If the Indians do lose to the White Sox today, that definitely is like a message for the playoff race and what's coming here. Caller?
Hey, so I just wanted to add one little bit of notes for the Cardinals game. So right now they are 69-50 against the NL, and they're at 78 wins, 61 losses.
Oh, so they get their 70th win. Giants 70.
Yeah, and then also San Francisco is 50.
Right,
and if
right,
they get
right.
the 79th win, that's the 25th prime, and Giants equals 25.
Right,
Or, wait,
yeah.
sorry, the 22nd prime, right?
79 is the 22nd prime.
Yeah, sorry, I was mixing that up. But the reflection would be the 25th prime. And then if you reflect the losses, the 16 instead of 61, even though St. Louis Cardinals equals 61, the 16 would fit into the date numerology today, the 53.
Yep, that's perfect. 70 and 50 versus the NL. Yeah, that's it. And they were already looking good, so that just adds to it. Yeah, I don't see how that game
that
turns.
was just the one thing I wanted to add, because that stood out big time.
Yeah, that's a great observation. Great work.
All right, thanks.
All right, yeah, take care, man. Yeah, I've gotten away from doing that. I need to get back to doing that. Counting up the record versus the NL, that can be very meaningful. So yeah, he's right on. I just counted it in my head. St. Louis, who we already like today, they'd get their 70th win today. Giants 70 versus the National League, and stay on 50 losses. San Francisco 50. So that makes perfect sense. For the people trying to call in when the line's busy, just keep calling back. I know it can be annoying, but the line is open right now. So we can see what the buzz is in the NFL while we're waiting here. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach? This is Martin.
What's up, Martin?
Not much. Dang, it's hard to get in contact with you, but I mean, I can understand why you're doing it. You said you gotta go somewhere. But yeah, so my only pick today, the last game I told you about, with the Pirates and the Mariners, you remember they won because of the 199th game and the 46 prime. So you saw that, right?
It wasn't the Pirates and Mariners, was it? A different match.
Pirates and it was Seattle. I mean, who was it? The Miami.
Miami yesterday. Marlins.
Yeah, yesterday. That's what I said. When I called you about yesterday,
right.
I told you about the 199th prime.
Yep, that was a great observation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right on the money.
Yeah, okay, so this one, the only one I have for today is the last game on the schedule is Astros and Mariners.
Uh-huh.
So I like the Mariners only for this reason because it's like you were saying, it's if you go back to if you pull up the head-to-head schedule right now, do that real quick.
The Mariners versus the Astros all time?
Yeah, all time, yeah.
All right, hold on, I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling it up 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm almost there. Okay, did you want for this specific season or all time?
All time.
Okay.
I see the specific season and everything like that, and I saw what their record was for 2019. But no, it's more so just for all time.
Okay, I got it. It's up.
So right now...
I know what you're going to say. I'm going to read your mind. I see it. 137th game, 33rd prime, 33 date numerology. They can get that 33rd loss.
Not even that. I mean, with all that being said, what I was exactly about to say, but the pitcher, he can get his 33rd win. But with that being said, from the last time these two teams played, it's a span of 33 days.
Ah, okay, that's a good observation too. So there's a lot of 33 there.
The pitcher's name in the most pure cipher equals 59. He can get Mariners the 59th win.
Yeah, great observation.
That's all I really have. But yeah, I mean, stay up. I mean, I know you're real busy and whatnot, but appreciate you taking my call.
Yeah, of course, man. Good work.
All right, no problem.
All right, yeah, Mariners got a shot, man. Wade Miley's numbers are scary, though. Wade Miley looks like he's just ready to dominate the Mariners, but a lot of gamblers are probably just thinking this is a freebie tonight. Oh, Astros at the Mariners. We know where that's going. 137th game between two teams. 33rd prime. Astros could pick up 33rd home loss all-time versus M's. 33 date numerology. Let me get that plugged in on the Patreon too. Otherwise people aren't going to have those notes. But still, don't go heavy on the Mariners. They just squander so many riddles. But as a parlay multiplier, if you got some good picks with it, they'd be a big multiplier because they are a huge underdog. So, whoops, what did I do here? Let me plug this in. I guess I'll just plug in that thing too about what we just said with the St. Louis. They're already up, already looking good, but they got one more thing in their corner. Let's see. Cardinals can pick up 70th win versus NL and stay on 50 losses versus NL. Giants equals 50. San Francisco equals 50. Okay. All right. If anybody else wants to call in, the line is open. I can interact with the chat. Let's see. Tracy says, great call, Martin. She's right. It was a great call. Yeah, that Marco Gonzalez. So Magic Mushroom says Bears, Packers. So again, I want to talk about the Bears and Packers. And let's just get rid of two ciphers here. Let's just look at the ones that we used to do back in the day. Vesica Piscis, that's the shape of the football. 134.53. The game is 134 days after Matt Nagy's birthday. And if he wins, he'll be 13-4. And if the Bears win today, they'll get their 53rd win in the regular season, all-time versus the Packers. Today has 53 date numerology. 53 is the 16th prime number. Trubisky can get his 16th win today and 16 days after his birthday. And if you guys don't know this, I gave you the packet so you have all the information. But if you just want to verify anything, Packers head-to-head record, if you do a little search for that, it should pull up versus the Packers in the regular season. Consider that they could get their 95th loss as well on September 5th. And then if you add in the playoff stats, the all-time stats, they're 97-95-6 all-time. I've always thought that it's better to look at the regular season stats in the regular season. If nothing's there in the regular season stats, then look at the all-time stats. I think it's best to look at it in that order. But if you want to sort by location, hit this thing to sort by wins and losses first, and then hit here for the because then it'll keep it organized. So the Packers at the Bears. So you see it has all the L's arranged. It has the playoff loss in here as well. It has some ties. So they have 53 losses all time at Chicago. But if you take away that playoff loss, they have 52 losses in the regular season. You see? So they can pick up 53 today on the 53 date numerology. And again, it's just, you really got to think about how it lines up. 134 days after the Bears coach, and he's going for a 13-4 record. 16 days after the Bears QB's birthday, and he's going for a 16th win. It's hard to get a more perfect alignment. Now, we're going to talk about this more because Aaron Rodgers has a few things that are concerning. So I'm not saying the Bears are a lock or a certainty by any means. Just to me, that's just such a strong riddle. It's hard for me to see it not going that way. But when we come back and talk football after the little break, again, and we've already done it earlier this week, but we'll review the things Aaron Rodgers has going for him. Aaron Rodgers. Oh, by the way, also I just want to remind you about this too. It's the 100th NFL season, the National Football League, and the most pure cipher is 100. It's also 134, like how Matt Nagy can become 13-4. The Bears are one of two teams that are in their 100th season. Those are the Cardinals and the Bears. And if Rodgers doesn't win tonight, he'll stay on 100 wins in the regular season. So let me make sure it's regular season and not all time. But Aaron Rodgers, let's see it here. Aaron Rodgers has 109 all-time wins. That's the 29th prime. Today Today, no, never mind. That's the Sunday games are going to have the 29-date numerology. So in the regular season, Aaron Rodgers is on 100 wins, 41. So, all right, you guys. The notes are posted on the top of Patreon. If nobody else has to call in, I can just hit the road and get there a little bit earlier. So. Well, remember how the Bears and Packers game was last year. Last year, Rodgers got... here, let's go back and look at that. Let's go back to last year. Bears, Packers, box score, 2018. We should get 2 games here. This was the one, September 9th, prime time. I remember I had the Packers to win this game, and I started to worry. I was like, oh my God, are they going to lose? But... it was the comeback by the numbers, 47 points. Let me see. I'd rather have this box score through ESPN so we can get better stats. Here we go. Go back and look at what happened. Chicago... They scored in the first quarter. It was a... where's the touchdown play? Mitchell Trubisky snuck it in. QB rushing touchdown. Bears got up 10-0. Rodgers was hurt. You had a pick 6. I think that was the backup quarterback, Kaiser, who went to Notre Dame. So, it was looking bad for the Packers. I was thinking, oh my God, what's wrong with my pick? But then they came back. So they were down 20-0. 20-0 before the rally. And it was all Rodgers. The hobbling Rodgers for the comeback. Nice little storyline narrative. I fully expect that Packers to have a good season, but just not sure they win this first game at Chicago. And I could see the symbolism of Rodgers staying on 100 wins for the first game of the 100th NFL season against one of 2 teams that's playing in their 100th season. And again, just how the National Football League syncs with 100 and 134. 134, the big Matt Nagy riddle. So, Royals up big on the Tigers. I saw somebody in the chat. Okay. Still plenty of game left. A lot can happen, but the riddle is there for the Tigers. So... all right, since we don't have calls, you guys, I'm just going to wrap it up. I'm going to hit the road. I'll get back as soon as I can, and I'll fire up the live stream, so just look for your notification. And we'll talk football up until the game time. So there's a lot to go through. So Jeremy writes, did you see that Benson died on County Road 2222? I did not know that. So definitely another Super Bowl riddle. We'll talk about that when we come back. And by the way, before I go, I wanted to share this this website with you guys. We can study this too, as morbid as it is. But Pro Football Reference actually has a section where they track every NFL-related death by year. So this page right here has all the NFL-related deaths for 2019. And there's quite a few. So let me see if I can post that in the chat. But sadly, these deaths are definitely clues a lot of the time for what's to come. So, All right. Does that link work? Can you guys let me know if you can click on that link? If it doesn't work, I think you can search Pro Football Reference Deaths 2019. Yeah, that'll pull it up. If you just do a search that, Pro Football Reference Deaths 2019, that will pull it up. So, all right, you guys, we'll leave it there and be back very soon. Till next time.